Our guest today is an Emmy-nominated actress and beloved daytime drama star who's most known for her role as Elizabeth Weber on General Hospital. She's appeared in numerous other television shows like Brotherly Love, Highway to Heaven, and Space Cases. We're pleased to welcome Rebecca Herbst to Sidewalks. Rebecca, it's so great to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you, Cindy. Thanks for having me.
So tell me a little bit about how you got your start as an actress.
I was only 6 years old, and I had an agent came into a gymnastics place where my sister belonged, and had plucked a few girls out to do an exercise program, and I really, really wanted to do it, but I was too young at the time, but she picked me up anyway as a client, and I went out on my first audition for toilet paper and got the role.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
One of the most interesting facts that I sort of learned about you is that at one time you were a professional ice skater.
I was, yes.
Oh my gosh. In
Yeah.
fact, you even skated with Michelle Kwan, or at least trained with her?
Yes,
am I
I
getting
did.
my information right here?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I competed for about 12 years. I loved ice skating. I didn't like the competition part of it, and I'm glad I chose acting over the skating. It's a little easier on the body.
So now, of course, we have to talk about General Hospital, which, of course, I was a huge fan back in the day when I wasn't working during the day.
Oh, okay.
So tell me a little bit about why you think that your character, Elizabeth Weber, resonates so much with your audiences.
Yeah, I think that people really love Elizabeth because she's a very real character. I think people can relate to her. She's a hardworking nurse. For a long time, she was a single mom raising a baby on her own, and she doesn't have all the money in the world like most soap opera people do. And I think people just, they can relate with her struggles.
Yeah. So I'm sure that you must get a ton of fan mail. I'm curious to know what their #1 question is of you.
I would say their #1 question is they want to know what my skincare routine is like. They're always asking me, what do I use on my skin? And I am a faithful user of Purpose. It's a skincare line, and I use the Gentle Cleansing Wash and the Dual Treatment Moisturizer with SPF 15. I've been using it for 15 years. It's extremely gentle on my sensitive skin, and I think it's so important to use a sunblock every day. And this stuff has just been incredible.
Well, you really truly are, I think, one of the most beautiful women on daytime.
Oh,
so
thank you so much.
It is really a pleasure to have you, and I'm sure your fans are glad to know the beauty regime. Soap Opera Digest, you are a Soap Opera Digest winner and an Daytime Emmy-nominated actress.
Correct.
How does that kind of recognition make you feel?
It makes me feel really good. It feels really good, especially because I've been on the show for 10 years, and I do work really hard, and I love it, and it's such a good feeling knowing that I'm being recognized by my peers. That
well, and during the red carpet season, which happens every year, we always race to the magazines to see what everybody is wearing.
Right.
Do you have some kind of a ritual that you perform to get ready for the red carpet?
Well, one of the things I do is that I make my own dress every year.
Really?
I design it, I go to the fabric stores, pick out the fabric, and then my mother and I will sit home and make it. This year I've been a little busy, so she's the one who's physically sewing it, but I have designed it again this year, and it's still in pieces.
I'm sure it's going to come together. I'm sure your mom is working on it as we speak.
She is. She is.
Now, one of the things that your fans may not know is that you married your co-star, Michael Saucedo. Now, am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
And you've got 2 children together.
That's right.
What attracted you to him? Was there sort of this instantaneous wow factor, or how did that come about, that relationship?
I can hear him laughing in the background right now, and the truth is that I worked with him for a year and a half before we had even looked at each other romantically. I always thought that he might be attached to somebody else already, and so we never even had that sort of that banter or flirting thing going on. But then one night we are at an Emmy party, and we had danced together just as friends, and I held his hand, and it was like instant chemistry.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
Now, your children, of course. Now, how old are your kids now?
Our son is 5, and our little girl Ella just turned 3.
So they're probably a little young to kind of know that mommy and daddy are on TV, I would assume, right? Or do they kind of get
Oh,
what you
no,
guys do for a living?
They totally know that we're on TV. They just think it's extremely normal. They think that that's just, that everybody can be on TV. And my son's just started asking if he can do it.
Oh my gosh, you're going to have your hands full with that one, I would bet.
Oh, yes.
If you had any advice to give your son, since he sounds like he's starting to become interested in the business, what kind of advice are you going to give him?
Well, because I started when I was 6 years old, and my husband started when he was 4, and we consider ourselves to be pretty normal people. I'm not opposed to children being in the business. So what I'm opposed to is them being taken out of their childhood life. And I just recommend for children, especially with my son, if he were to do it, to keep them in sports, keep them in school, have them have as much of a normal childhood as possible. And for me, growing up, acting was always my hobby. Some kids went and did cheerleading or had different groups that they hung out with. My hobby was acting.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you've got a good head on your shoulders, and I'm sure your son has got a very good role model to look up to. Thank you so much for being with us today on Sidewalks. It was a pleasure having you, Rebecca.
Oh,
best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.